Hello, beautifuls. Welcome back to my Chanel, my lovelies, my Chanel.
Good heavens.
I don't know what that was about. I'm in a very strange mood today. So, my lovelies, welcome back to another episode of Dr. 90210, my lovelies. This is quite swiftly becoming one of my most favourite series on this channel because it's not only a bit like
juicy gossip reality TV drama.
She pisses when she farts. Sometimes she shorts.
but I also find it quite educational for anyone who's like considering to go under plastic surgery or cosmetic procedures, shall we say. So in the last episode, we met Arlene, who went through a pretty intense chemical peel process.
Also, I made an absolute fool of myself by not being able to do basic maths regarding Arlene's age. I've got a degree.
Now, that was actually kind of quite... what's the phrase? Kind of quite safe. I was going to say flaccid. Oh no! Kind of quite safe for this Chanel, so we say, my lovelies, because usually we're here to watch like full body plastic surgery makeovers with 19 areas of liposuction.
Time for a brow lift.
Which just seems obscene now I'm saying that. What has my content become? This series in particular seems to be quite eclectically random, shall we say. We see lots of different types of procedures and cosmetic alterations.
My breast augmentation.
And I'm actually genuinely quite excited about what we're going to see today. So today's episode is actually called Is Bigger Better? Now, again, there could potentially be some misogynistic language in this one because I think that it's going to be related to breasts. Mummy's got breasts. Because I don't believe that back in 2004 that butt implants were a thing. I mean, obviously they've been a thing. They've been a thing for quite a while, but I think they weren't like on trend as in like they have been for the last few years, like BBLs, butt implants, bigger booties, shall we say. So I don't know if today's going to be related fully to breasts, but I think we can make an educated guess and say that it is. I've said breast too many times. Bosoms! Another thing we saw in the last episode, my loves, was the flourishing problems between Dr. Rey and his wife. I do kind of feel like we're going to be seeing a lot of them today as well, but I just don't understand what the point of keeping that in this show is. Do you know what I mean? I don't understand the reality aspect of that segment, because he would have had to sign off on this, right? Would he have had to? I don't know. Is he even an executive producer? I don't think he is. So I wonder how this is going to turn out. What's happening? All right, my lovelies, that's enough waffling from me. Pop your hanger directly in the hanger slit. No, I don't think. And let's watch Dr. 90210, girls. I always want to scream at the top of my lungs, Dr. 9021, but I just can't because Susan will get me.
Tonight on Dr. 90210, while Dr. Rey's wife is waiting for him to make time for his family, Dr. Rey is juggling two patients in for the same job, but looking for very different...
Wait. Have we heard yet, like, a narrator in any of this season so far? Like, any of the episodes, have we heard someone be like,
Oh, the Dr. Rey tonight on the Swan Girls.
do you know, I also don't like how the announcer, and I'm going to do the exact same thing because I can't remember her name right now. The wife is always referred to as Dr. Rey's wife, instead of actually giving her name and, you know, the child the name as well. I've instantly forgotten what her name is. And I feel like that's such a weird misogynistic overtone of production that kind of like flies under the radar a little bit unless you really think about it. Instead of being like, is it Laurie? I think her name might be Laurie. Hang on. It's one of those things that kind of makes me feel a little bit like uncomfortable because it kind of infers that she's like a pet or like a property or something. Do you know what I mean? Not really into that.
I would like to
two boob jobs,
be a
girl.
B. He would have preferred for me to be a C.
Let's go to 800.
Tonight on Dr. 90210.
Oh, these paparazzi are everywhere, girls. Oh, a burning wand. Oh, a curvaceous woman's spine. A neck. Vampires. Dr. 90210. Oh. Rodeo girls. Oh, that hideous statue.
Hey, Vicky, it's Norma with Dr. Rey's office. You do need to come and get that EKG done today. Thank you.
That was a very like...
My name is Anna. I'm going to have breast augmentation
Breast
to address
augmentation.
excess skin from being pregnant twice and having 2 children.
Here's some
Right.
before and after pictures. Some will let you know if they went through the nipple or belly button, how many cc's of an actual implant it is, and then about what cup size it'll be.
Okay.
You can go in through the belly button for a breast augmentation? How on earth do you go in through the... That seems like a long way away. Right, just learn something new every day. So I actually will be getting breast augmentation myself around my birthday next year. And I want to go from the size I am now, which is between an A and a B. I would like to go to a full C, something that still stays in proportion with my shoulders and my chest, like rib cage. I don't want massive boobies, but I do want something a little bit exciting there. So maybe I'm going to be able to sympathize with some of the patients that we see today. Another learning episode. I'm very excited.
Okay, just give him a couple more minutes. Great, thank you. You're welcome.
So is
As
this
I was
the
looking
first
through his
consultation?
pictures, I was really concerned because all of them were, too big. I was looking at the before pictures and going, God, that's nice.
Oh.
Ana, como está? Você é tão bonita, eu não tinha percebido.
Nossa, obrigada.
You're so beautiful. Anna is interested in
He says that
breast
to... Does he,
augmentation. She had to be...
I bet you he wouldn't say that to all the male patients. He'd be like, oh, you're so beautiful. Come here, let me look at your breasts.
Mummy's got breasts.
So we're just gonna put them back in. She had implants in Brazil, taken out before she would breastfed. This older technique is still, a viable technique, but it's just a personal thing. I can't stand it. You're just empty. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But that's how I feel. I feel deflated.
Let's talk about sizes.
He wasn't pushy at all, but he was very honest about the fact that people love breasts and he likes them large.
I would get to 400. That's why I went right to it.
For my breasts, I would like to be a B. He definitely would have preferred for me to be a full C or more. But I don't want to go there.
Good. Be quiet, Dr. Elbow. Good. So she stuck to her guns there. I do feel like that's a really important thing that we need to keep in mind when we watch these shows, is that technically a plastic surgeon is there to work towards your goals. They're there to give you a realistic interpretation of what they can provide for you, and to also make sure that your goals aren't completely deranged off the deep end, girls. But also it does come down to ultimately what you're going to be happy with. And I do kind of feel like Dr. Rey has a thing for breasts, large breasts. I really get this vibe because she clearly does not want to have massive bosoms. She wants to have just a sensible size on her chest. And he's like,
no, go bigger, go bigger.
And I'm a bit like, we'll have to keep our eye on Dr. Rey, won't we? Come on, Dr. Elbow, what have you got to say for yourself?
Blah de blah de blah de blah. De blah de blah de blah. De blah de blah de blah. Yes, nice. Blah. Blah de blah.
Plastic surgery is not an art form. If you try to practice it like art, it'll never work. It's a modality that certain people use to make themselves happy. When they're happy, it's a success.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. There is no question. The greatest challenge, I think, for cosmetic surgeons is to satisfy the patient.
Okay. A shawl, skirts, cars, limos, on the game, scout. What was that all about?
What is that? This is French bread.
I'll say.
My name is Jackie. I'm a
Jackie.
homemaker, and I'm having breast augmentation.
Augmentation.
When I had my first surgery done.
Jackie! Oh my goodness, look at Jackie. Her style is just 2003 all together. Look at these pencil-thin eyebrows. Very Pamela Anderson.
Prissy bimbo blonde bitch on the runway.
Very that, isn't it? The energy today in my studio is off the scale. I kind of like skinny eyebrows. I used to do an eyebrow very, very, very similar to this, but I do feel like she maybe needs to have them a little bit refined. One is also a little bit higher than the other, which unfortunately when you have skinny eyebrows, any asymmetry, and you can really see it, my loves. I do also want to say, how often do you see a patient or someone on a show that is wearing false lashes? Never. Back in this day and age, you never saw people in false eyelashes unless it was America's Next Top Model when they only did it for the photo shoot. So it's wild to actually see Jackie she's clearly into beauty. She's clearly really wants to look after herself, really wants to look cool and edgy and also beautiful. I do want to say though, she kind of needs to angle her lashes up and out a little bit. I don't want you to vibrate anymore. There we go. Because they're kind of, if you see, they're kind of weighing down the outside of her eye, and it gives it kind of a sleepier, droopier look. If she was to angle them slightly and just be whoosh, up and back and be all snatched and gorgeous, I think that would instantly provide a more aesthetic look. Is that the word I'm looking for? Aesthetic? But I'm looking at it with 2022 vision, clearly.
Dr. Rey told me that it's always better to go a little larger, because when the swelling goes down, usually a lot of women are unhappy because they get used to the swollen size of their breasts.
Okay.
And I did not listen to Dr. Rey, and he was right.
Right, okay. Still getting a
At my
vibe that he wants to make
heaviest
everyone
point,
bigger.
I was 220 pounds, and I just decided that I didn't want to be heavy anymore. And I made my husband promise. I said, if I lose 50 pounds, can I have implants?
An incredible,
and he said,
journey.
These are some of the old clothes I used to have. This was a size 24 wide, and believe it or not, this thing used to be tight on me. Mentally, it was very difficult for me to look at myself.
Wow.
I went in to see Dr. Rey, and we decided that he would do a full tummy tuck on me and do my implants at the same time. Now,
the swan.
Why aren't you making it to the planet?
Little things like this.
Oh, a slip.
From size 24 to spandex. So, I'm quite happy.
Wow,
It's
that's
much
quite a journey,
easier
isn't
to
it?
keep that kind of weight off.
But her
if you
boobs are already
spend
quite
a good amount
large.
of money making your body a certain.
Jackie's ratio from her shoulders to her chest is kind of like, her shoulders are very like narrowed and kind of like angled in a little bit. And her breasts are already quite big, so... Oh no, is Dr. Rey going to be like, oh, make her a triple Z? I know, that's not a real size, but still.
Way. Who's winning?
Me.
What a weird episode this has been so far. Oh, hang on. Yoga girls. Oh. The happy baby.
One thing that I'm not looking forward to at all is after the surgery spending about a month without having my yoga, because I'm gonna wake up in the morning and just be in pain and just miserable.
That's very true. That is very true. So one of the things you always have to remember is if you go in for a cosmetic procedure, you are probably going to experience post-surgery blues. It is just something that happens. You know, a trauma has technically happened to your body, and your immune system responds by basically taking all of your energy away and making you kind of feel like,
oh, is this right? Have I made a mistake? I'm sad.
Which is why you really need like a good support network around you and a good amount of entertainment to distract you from how crap you feel. So obviously I'm having FFS in May. I've only just gotten into a fitness routine that I'm really enjoying that consists of doing a 6-mile walk daily. At least I try to do it daily. It's more like every other day at the moment because my workload is so busy. And also doing full body kettlebell workouts, mainly focusing on core and legs. So now that I'm on this journey, I know that I'm going to have to take some time away from that, and I can sort of sympathize here because it is going to be like, oh, all I want to do is make sure that I'm having like the best possible body that I can with the amount of time that I have. But also you do need to rest. Rest is a huge part of repairing your body, and repairing your body only happens at rest. So you are going to feel a bit miserable and a bit sad, and you're not going to be able to want to work out, and you're not going to be able to work out, and you're going to be like, but it is like the goal, surely, or the journey towards the goal is a journey of happiness, and that has peaks and troughs, you know? So it's always good to stay realistic with your results, I think, and your healing process as well. I know I'm going to take a little bit longer to heal because that's just how my body works. Other people seem to be able to heal much faster than me when they have certain procedures done. It's definitely a journey, isn't it? Cosmetic surgery is a journey.
Women are working out so hard nowadays. Everyone's on a diet. The little bit of fat they have, they're losing. So we made a generation of breastless women.
So how does a real thin lady have generous breasts? Only by having artificial breasts inserted.
No, shush. Well, imagine saying we've created a generation of breastless women. That is a really loaded sentence, isn't it? So somehow, because women want to work out and look after themselves, this is somehow equals a breastless woman. Breastless? Why would you say that? We've created a generation of breastless women. Do you know, some of these things kind of make me really question the environments that these surgeons grew up in. So this was in 2004. If we say that the older surgeon there, Dr. Robert blah, 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 clearly he would have matured maybe in the world when it was in like the 70s. So men's minds, when they matured at that age in that sort of environment and that time frame, there was a very different idea of what a woman was to society and to a family dynamic and to what they are to a man. I think it's very telling sometimes of like a snapshot into history of how women have been viewed. And it kind of makes me a bit like, I don't take any crap in my life from anyone. And I sort of forget that we women weren't allowed to do that actually for the longest amount of time. Or we were seen as like spinster crazy ladies who aren't like worthy of men's attention. Ooh! We're going on a journey today, my lovelies, aren't we? Don't agree with saying we created a generation of breastless women, because women who work out and look after themselves still have breasts. They may just not be gigantic bosoms, which Dr. Rey seems to be like,
the only woman for me has gigantic bosoms.
Right, okay. Santa Monica, Valentina, Beverly Hills, gown. Right,
Before even I had kids, I always thought, after I have kids, I really want to look and feel exactly as I did, or better, than before having kids.
That's a bit of an unrealistic expectation.
She had it in her head for almost 6 or 9 months, and she systematically talks me into getting things done or actually getting to agree with it. And, you know, you reach a point where there's no resisting it anymore. Fine, go do it. Did you go to yoga?
No! Oh, this episode I do not like the relationships that we are seeing in this episode, my lovely. Okay, so I always find it very strange. I mean, sometimes you see it nowadays as well, when a man is somehow like, no, you can't do what you want with your body because I somehow have a say in what you do to your body. That kind of makes me feel like, congratulations on your third parental unit. How can I relate this to my experience? Okay, so if I suddenly got a partner and they were like, I don't want you to get any more tattoos, I would be like, absolutely not. In the bin, out the door, girls. Thank you, bye. Because my body, my rules, my choice. I don't think cosmetic surgery wavers enough of a decision to be like, you can't get cosmetic surgery. I cannot imagine having a boyfriend and telling that boyfriend that he cannot have a plastic surgery procedure because I might not like it. Like, I'm not here to influence other people's lives. Like, if you want to do that and that's such a huge change and we need to adjust to it or break up, that's a different question and communication thing to have. I'm not going to outright say, no, absolutely not. You can never think about that. Get that out of your head. That is wild to me. Like, who has the right to tell somebody else that? All these dynamics that we're seeing today, my lovelies, we are having a snapshot into the past, aren't we? No time for that. These are what all those right-wing memes are, where it's like, you know, the traditional trad wife versus the modern liberal or whatever. Like, subservience to men is not the rent we pay in this world as women. Absolutely not.
I'm going to cream.
Yeah.
Huh?
I'm going tomorrow too, please.
Tomorrow I'm not here. Unless
She's doing
Nayara comes.
yoga.
What time do you leave?
9 o'clock in the morning.
What is that vegetable?
No, I'm
that
gonna go so
apple?
long without it. I wanted to go every day these next 2 weeks.
What is that? So she wants to get lots of yoga in before
I had to talk him into it.
workout.
Because he had no complaints. Then, you know, as you talk and you use your ways, he agreed and said, okay, he will be there as much as he can be there, but it was all me.
Was that just like an admission of like feminine manipulation? Well, not even manipulation. It's kind of like having to bribe your partner with your body, potentially? Is that the vibe you're getting? That is the vibe I'm getting. Oh, okay. So the men in this show have quickly gone from I'm learning from them being like, absolutely not. I do not want to hear them speak again. Oh, I feel quite affronted. Oh, dear. Tiffany, Rodeo, Gauntz.
Hello, gorgeous. How are you? It's good to see you.
Another gorgeous.
You look beautiful. All I gotta do today is decide on size.
I have a very wide sternum, and I want a larger size so my breasts sit.
Jackie? A wide sternum? Would you say Jackie has a wide sternum? Oh, I don't know. I don't know what's happening, girls. What's happening? What's happening? I can't wait to see how this turns out.
I want a larger size so my breasts sit a little closer together.
This is what you used to look like. I just can't get over you.
You built me, so.
No, God built you. God does 98.
Custom built body, girls.
Since these are already 650.
Yeah.
50 cc's more isn't gonna do me a whole.
A little more than 2 tablespoons. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Perfection is definitely a goal, but perfection again will vary.
It is all a matter of taste. I will give them the best change that I am capable of. I probably will reset their brain a little bit about how they feel about themselves.
You're gonna gain 2 centimeters inwards. In other words, basically an inch. They will almost touch each other. And that is with the 800.
Let's go to 800.
Okay.
800 cc's.
The double D, in her case, is actually a correct decision. She's concerned about closing the gap. The only way you can do that is with a wider implant, so she's right.
Hey, did you see how, like, happy he was about the fact that she's going larger than she even thought she was going to go? He's like,
she absolutely needs to get larger.
Like, really creepy vibes today from Dr. Rey. I mean, he's a controversial, polarizing figure in general, but particularly today. Nighttime. Oh, Dr. Rey, here we go. More exercise.
It's very hot here, right, sweetheart? Can you open the garage door for Daddy? I can do it. Thank you.
I cannot, do you know, because of Twitter discourse, I cannot take the word daddy seriously in any other context except smutty little Twitter twigs. It's ruined. The word is ruined.
It's too hot. Of course, Billy's gonna run out now.
Billy is our new dog that we got from my
Hayley.
daughter. He's a little white.
It's taken us 7 minutes and 42 seconds into this episode, which is just under halfway through, by the way, to get her name. Hayley. She's not just Dr. Rey's wife. Her name is Hayley. Unhinged.
Chihuahua.
There goes Billy into the neighborhood. Billy right now. Do you mind?
Billy?
Give me a
the
hand,
dog.
Billy.
The dog or the...
Thank you, sweetie. Sorry.
I'm pregnant. I have to take it easy, so I'm not working as hard as I was with the practice.
Sir,
Billy.
go and get your child.
Sweetie, are you not gonna help me?
This is your creation. Usually I count on you to come home so I can relax. That doesn't seem to usually be the case.
No relaxation.
This is we are not seeing examples of healthy relationships on this show. Absolutely not. There is such a divide between Hayley and Dr. Rey here that it's just like, it's kind of awkward to watch. Do you know what I mean? Like, clearly this is the reality TV part of the show, but why would they keep this in? Unless he's not, I wonder if he's like involved in production or not. I guess maybe he probably isn't because he would, I don't know, if it was me and I was having arguments with people on camera, I wouldn't want them to be in part of this show because I just want to showcase the best parts of my like work. How weird. But also, he is being a useless man. Useless.
Yes, there should be. Here we go.
It is.
Billy.
Oh, it's the dog. I thought it was the child.
Just before he got ready to pee. So
bring him into the house so he can pee.
Okay, sweetheart. Can you put him in the door and close the door? Test's coming up, so if I don't practice, I'm gonna flunk it. I have a test with the master in a month. So I'm more nervous about that than my job.
Sweetie, please. I'm warning you, don't do that because you really kicked me once hard.
I did not.
I swear it was hard. In your opinion, it was light, but I was winded and I was crying. Do you remember that? I don't cry easy.
Okay, so there is problems going on here in this relationship. I've been in a relationship before in which someone is like, oh, like play fighting. And because they're a lot bigger than me, I can get very hurt very easily. So I am just like, don't do that. So now it's a case of very much like when, I don't know what it is about these martial arts men, but when they're like, pow, 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 when you're just having a conversation with them, it's like, don't disrespect me. Do not disrespect me.
You imbecile!
I just don't like it. It's not for me. Although their bodies are beautiful, sometimes they are a little bit insufferable.
Do you remember that? I don't cry
There is
easy.
a disconnect here. Disconnected. I don't think, are they in love? I don't see any love. I see a situationship. Look at that TV.
These open door thing, what?
It's very hot, sweetheart.
Yeah, but okay, you're hot, sweetie, but I really can't have mosquitoes all over. I'm getting bitten alive in here.
Sorry, sweetie, this is so hot here.
Stop exercising. Just sit down and you won't be so hot. He's a perfectionist with everything. It's like, just take an hour and rest with us and relax, but he doesn't know how to relax. He feels that life is about being productive.
This is the only time I have to work out. If I don't work out a little bit here, I just won't get it done.
There is something else going on there, sis. I wonder if... So I get the vibes that Dr. Rey is a bit like... How do I say this lightly without coming across as defamation? A bit like playing away from home. Do you know what I mean? I feel like there's definitely a vibe of like... This trope of like nagging wife at home. I'm in the gym constantly. She's upsetting me. I'm gonna find something else and... I don't know, play away from home. That's the kind of situation we're being shown here because he's got no, like, initiative to put effort into the relationship. It's just from what we're seeing on TV. That's just what I'm getting from this. I kind of hate it because I think I may have been in that situation once or twice myself, my lovelies. If someone doesn't want to put effort in you, my love, believe them when they show you who they are. No amount of begging or pleading will get someone to fall in love with you. Unless that's their kink for some reason. Farm, Beverly, surgical center. I've got gout.
I'm here today to have breast augmentation.
Oh,
I feel that my breasts are too much skin for tissue.
Too much skin for tissue. Look at that volume. She's been at the Dyson.
He really could not take today off. so somebody else to take care of my kids. And I brought our babysitter with me.
I'm just praying the outcome is absolutely what she wants.
Here are your implants. They're very, 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 very petite. I can't remember last time I used such small implants here in Beverly Hills, but no, I understand. You're a little more conservative.
Yeah.
And, you know, you're very petite. So
Well, to me, as long as they can feel my skin, I'm happy.
These will barely feel your skin. I mean,
He's really trying to convince. He's really trying to convince her to go bigger.
The wider the cleavage. So I just want you to know your cleavage is not going to be the best, okay?
Dr. Rey loves full breasts, and he believes in a very small cleavage. I want to have more of a natural look, so I'm choosing to go with a smaller implant.
If my doctor were talking to me like this, I would not be going with him for surgery. If he was like, well, I don't think the decision you're making is right. Like, that seems very catty and a bit bitchy. I'd be like, I don't feel comfortable now being under your control because I am literally handing my life over to you. And you're already like, well, you're already making a bad decision. Like, I don't want to release that amount of control over my life and my body to you. I would not be going forward with this surgery. We started this series. I quite liked Dr. Rey. And every episode we've seen, it's gone like this. I do not hold him in high esteem at all. I think it's a classic case of he says what you want to hear until what you want to hear doesn't match with what he wants to do. Do you know what I mean? Scandal girls. It's a scandal, girls!
Nothing uglier than a wide cleavage. As a matter of fact, my reputation rides on that cleavage. If they're very far apart, horrendous. They look terrible.
I think breasts should be in proportion with the woman's body. Nowadays, women want a little bit more of an athletic body. They want a little smaller breast. If you make a woman's breast too big, she doesn't feel sexy. She feels fat.
If you look at perfection to deliver the best result, so I can make my patient happy.
Oh,
and give
injectables.
her or him what they're seeking from me.
That is exactly it.
That's perfection.
So the other two doctors I really agree with here, Dr. Elbow and Dr. Kanodia here. I completely agree with them because they seem to be more about giving the patient an outcome they're desirable with, whereas Dr. Rey is like,
I want to give you all fat titties, girls.
Good heavens. I don't like this overbearing, like, well, you'll regret this. You're not making a good decision. I told you so. It's very that vibe, isn't it? And you know where I told you so can go? In the bin, girls. Merch available down below. Oh, here we go. Oh.
This stuff is gonna burn you just a little bit. Ooh. So I just scratch here a little bit, make it a little bit easier.
Her beach in her dream now.
Dreamland. Okay,
Dreamland.
you guys, I don't know what kind of scarring she's gonna have in here.
Bosoms.
It may be a complete nightmare, we don't know. So I'm gonna just revise her old scars.
Okay.
It's always a little bit of a struggle getting this thing in, but it's good. That means the hole's not too big. She picked such a tiny little implant, almost breaks my heart. It's
what she
gonna be a little bee
wanted.
sting. Barely, barely rise. Wow, it's really little. Nothing else I can do. Let's go to the other side. Same thing here. The most important thing
I hope that she's
is the
happy with
character of
this.
our souls and, you know, our inner beauty. But there's nothing wrong with self-improvement. All right, so
Yeah.
she's shaping up. She's coming along.
But she also wanted a very
This is the
specific
day of my
outcome.
surgery. I'm getting
Oh,
breast
Jackie, go.
augmentation, and my mother and my husband and my 9-year-old daughter have all come with me.
Oh, that's nice. You got a really
I
strong
haven't
support
had anything
network.
to drink. I haven't had anything to eat.
Oh, yes.
For over 12 hours. I'm very anxious to proceed with the surgery.
Me too.
I know you're hungry and thirsty. We're gonna move right along.
bosoms.
As we go up in size of implants, the space
She's going
narrows.
really
That's
big.
the whole point here. As the implant gets wider, this space here is gonna narrow. So I don't think you're crazy. I think you're actually, you know, I think it's a good decision. That's why they make these implants. Here's your implant, okay? And box is a little bigger.
Oh my goodness.
And one's very modest implants, and Jackie, very large implants.
Okay,
Preferences
so
are different.
bigger, better. That's where the
I'm
title
gonna
of this
soak the
episode comes
outside of her
from.
pockets to give her better cleavage, just to hit a home run. You know what I'm saying? I met her. She's a broken woman. Today, she's very sexy. You can tell that she views herself a little more positively. We're in the business of building lives, you know.
They see that imperfection, and they come here and
I want to see.
You take care of it.
I
It's
want to
like
see.
You have given them the biggest reward in life.
I don't like necessarily saying that, the biggest reward in life. I feel like cosmetic and plastic surgery is there to alleviate a level of dysmorphia. If you want bigger breasts and it's causing you anguish to not have those bigger breasts, that is a kind of a form of dysmorphia. It's not necessarily the same as dysphoria, but it is a form of like body dysmorphia in which you want to just have a little improvement on a certain thing, and that will bring you happiness. That level of improvement will bring you happiness. So I do understand, but I do find it interesting the way that they describe that. But I guess I'm using very modern language because this is 2004 and I have to keep reminding myself that times really have changed. It's not hugely long ago, 18 years, but it is long enough ago that what we consider acceptable language now was not the language that was used back then.
Because that imperfection is gone.
So
a reward in life because the imperfection is
the
gone.
Stitches. See, now I shorten her pocket so much that she's not going to be falling off the ribcage. She's going to look hot. With this maneuver here, she's going to look really hot. Her cleavage is going to be awesome. Ready to put that implant in?
You're playing away from home, aren't you,
That's
Dr. Ray?
Implant. Okay, let's fill her up.
Oh, they're going to pump up the implant. Pump up the volume.
7. 16. 16. Okay. Much, much nicer. Let's do the other side. She's going to look so awesome, I have a feeling. She deserves it. Okay, I'm ready for the implant. Okie doke. Let's fill her up. 16.
Oh my goodness.
At the end that makes
they look
all the difference in the
very
world.
big. Very big.
Perfect. Okay, that's it. So she did great. Like I was telling her, I'm sorry it took an hour and a half. I sutured the edge of the pocket on both sides. So the implant has no choice but to go to the center. So cleavage is gonna be way, way, way better.
Okay, all right. That's an interesting technique I didn't really know about. You put a stitch in the outer side of the breast pocket to push the breasts closer together, which I guess is kind of like what a lot of breast augmentation is about, isn't it? It's just creating that like bust, that like cleavage bust. I'm being very bosomy today. Do I want that? I sort of don't mind a little bit of space between breasts though. I think that can look quite nice because it kind of creates that like body shape. I don't know. I'm in two minds about that personally. I don't know if that's for me. That's something I need to think about before I go for my augmentation, clearly. Louis Vuitton! They love these like designer moments. B-roll. One day after surgery.
Yeah, right here. You seem to be doing well. You're handling the pain okay? Or
yeah, the only thing that I think I'm gonna cut the Valium pills in half.
Okay.
I'm completely out of it.
Just hang tight for a second, okay?
Valium? Oh dear.
Hey, beautiful. I bet you don't feel too beautiful today, right? You're sleepy. We want you to be sleepy. Anna is a little tiny, skinny body. We give her almost the same medications we give someone who's heavy. So she's gonna be really, really high. You did great, sweetie. Say hi to your husband for me. And let's titrate the drugs a little bit better because you're a little too drunk.
Oh dear. Too much Valium.
How are you? And, oh, the cleavage is way better. I really, really fought to get this cleavage better. It was so hard.
He is so into this. He is like, oh, babies. But look at the size of those breasts. What was that, 800 cc's of saline? Saline or silicone? I'm not sure. We didn't exactly see. I'm guessing because it was done with a pump, that is probably saline.
Turn it on. Yeah. Let me see where you are with all that. Oh, yay! It's descended already. Perfect. You don't need it anymore. So your cleavage is a huge, huge success. Remember how wide she used to be. No more stressing. Jackie, you did so well. You're my favorite. You know that. Okay. I see you, okay?
Okay.
Hey, the language he is using, you're my favorite. You know that? That's very like groomer almost, isn't it? I'm getting very creepy vibes. Very creepy vibes from Dr. Rey. You're my favorite. Do you know that? I bet you he hasn't said that to his wife in a very, very, very long time, judging from how they were arguing about letting the dog out of the garage earlier. Her breasts are so large and her shoulders are so little that she looks overwhelmed by her chest. She hasn't expressed, like, happiness yet, though, so I wonder how the episode is going to move forward from here.
Keep up the good work.
When I lay down now, one doesn't go left and one doesn't go right. I'm very pleased with the size and the result of the cleavage line.
Wow, that is some makeup.
Today I'm going to go shopping for bras. I've been having a hard time finding a bra that fits correctly.
You want me to measure you, or you know your size?
I'll stick to my size.
Okay. Come on. Let her decide which color she likes better. You see how nice?
Yeah.
So you can. So now you pick up your arm.
So Jackie does have this posture that kind of like buckles forwards a little bit. So she's got this like heaviness, but her shoulders are very like tucked in and forwards. I feel like if she went to a specialist that would help her train her posture to be outer and open, she would feel a lot more confident with her chest. I don't know. I'm on the outside looking in, so I can't really say that for sure, but that's kind of something I feel like should have been mentioned, maybe?
They stay down. You see how beautiful? Look at now in the profile. They're exactly where you want to be. Gosh. So they don't stay away from your bust.
That's pretty. I like that one.
They are
the top in the front, it doesn't come out of anywhere.
No, I could bankrupt my husband in the store. He's going down. The ideal image, I feel, beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Yes.
Everybody's
you do use
different.
this.
I just wanted a little bit more cleavage, and I like the way it is now, and I think that's the best I can do.
That before and after, sis. I don't think I'm going to be able to show you, but that before and after is so dramatic. It's not for me, but I'm also a fan of you do you, sis. If you want massive tits, you go and get your massive tits. Oh, seagulls on the 2 months after surgery, yeah.
I'm very happy with my breast augmentation.
She's got a lovely side.
Actually, much nicer than my first augmentation did, and it feels much nicer also.
She's lovely.
As far as breast size, it's a very personal choice.
Yeah.
It's what you're comfortable with.
Oh,
it's
they really
what
fit
you
beautifully.
find to be beautiful or not. This is my comfort level. I think a little bit bigger, would have been pushing it, or at what Dr. Rey had suggested, I really would have been scared.
Wow,
to me, my
just goes
body
to
is
show.
better today than it ever was, whether I was in high school or before college or had kids. The goal has been definitely achieved. I'm very pleased with the results, and I'm having a lot of fun.
And that's all that matters. That's all that matters. All that matters. Everyone's posture is like this, though. Wow. All right, now do we get to watch more drama in the family unit?
Hi, sweetie, how are you?
Today I'm going to have my high-resolution ultrasound to make sure everything is okay with my baby.
You know what you have?
No.
You want to know?
I'd love to know.
Oh, what's that?
What's the music like?
It's nerve-wracking.
We're going to try to figure out...
it's not a baby. It's an alien.
About a boy. My father was not that present, so I don't know how to raise boys.
There's the baby's
You're also not that present, so how are you going to raise any children? You're not present either.
legs. Right hand, see the thumb?
Yeah.
Right. Go over to the other side. There's the left hand.
We're gonna hear the baby's heart beating.
Here we go.
Wow.
Welcome to Earth, huh?
Sounds like a
Definitely
chihuahua.
tears in my eyes that day. You forget that it's actually a child growing inside of you like that until you see it on screen, and it's wonderful.
Nice and healthy, all the
Not for
things
me.
are there. No cleft lips, no major congenital problems. And I know how hard it is to fix them.
I'm ready to tell you what you're having.
Dr. Platt asked us if we want to know the sex of the baby, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to now. I do. I'm just nervous. So you know for sure?
We'll never say anyone's 100.
Of course, right.
I'm nervous.
Yes?
Next week on Dr. 90210. When
Stop doing that rhinoplasty. Oh my goodness, we have to wait to the next episode to find out if Dr. Rey's and Haley's baby is going to be a lady or not. Okay, all right, okay. I've got a lot of thoughts about this episode, my lovelies. Let's head to the centre, shall we? All right, my lovelies, I've pushed my laptop away and I'm taking out my hanger there to just discuss a little bit about what we've seen today. So, I still really like this series for how informative it is about the procedures that they're undergoing, these patients. What I don't like is the language and the character development that we are being seen to that we are seeing or slightly starting to see build within this show. There's something going on there with Dr. Rey, isn't there? I don't know what it is, but there's definitely something going on there. Let me know what you guys think about Dr. Rey's behavior throughout this episode and how he talks to his patients. Like, when he said to Jackie, "You're my favorite," do you know that? Like, that's very... When you hear someone saying that, in that sort of a sense of terminology where there's authority, like an authority power dynamic, I don't get good positive vibes from that. Do you? If someone has ever, like, if I was in a police station and a police officer was like, "You're my favorite," do you know that? I would be like... Do you know what I mean? I don't know. It just puts you in a very different frame of mind. I don't know why I went to police station right there. I could have thought of any other authority process. Maybe letting agents. I don't know. But the other two surgeons, when they were having that conversation, well, that talking heads section about how to deliver an outcome that your patient is happy with, is kind of like what everyone in the service industry should do, regardless of what you're doing, really. Just because you're a plastic surgeon doesn't necessarily always mean that your opinion is right. For example, what happened with Anna's breasts. She was perfectly happy staying that smaller size, but Dr. Rey was like, "I think you're gonna regret this. Most women want larger ones, blah, blah, blah." And at the end, she was like, "I'm more than happy, and I've felt happier than I have in a long time with my body." Perfect results, and I think they were really lovely. Very telling, isn't it? Very telling. All right, my loves, let me know what you think about what we have seen in today's video and today's episode. And with that, it is time for the Patreons. You can see yourself scrolling past on the screen right here, my lovelies. Yes, you can. Today's Twitch shout-out goes to Seraphim Demon. Thank you so much for following me over on Twitch, you stunning woman on the go. Or stunning demon on the go, should I say. If you want to be in with a chance of being featured in my next video's Twitch shout-out, make sure you follow me on Twitch. It is Luxeria Plays, and I stream 2 nights a week, and I will be upping that soon. And as always, I want to say a massive thank you to my top tier Patreons: Aloria, Dr. Dreamerella, Laura Ali, Stephanie Neotupski, Orkos Emoji, Andy Henry, Beebles32, Caitlin Coating, Shell Herman, Christina Kyle, ContraPoints, Danielle, Dr. A, Jevod, Elizabeth Stone, Jen Martin, Jenny Hendricks, Caitlin Wright, Laura Jane, Mazel Morel, Min Min TM, Moisten98, Mariah Sherman, Nixie Tricks, Paolo Rivera, Princess Lillian, Rachel VC Biscuit, Romano, Ryan Vita, Sasha Smith, Sexy Texy RN, Slampire Queen, Steffutech, Succubus Lena, Sushi9393, Traverful, Tromo, Victoria Corella, Victoria Waldock, and Zaya Nazar. And you know what, my lovelies? I'm going to leave it on the note that while you can be receptive and open to advice in a consultation, always stick to your guns. And remember, no is a full answer. And that's all I have to say about that, my lovelies. I will see you in the next video. Yes.